So on the different trims of the Ford F-150, this one being a 2021 Ford F-150 Lariat, you may have the Bang & Olufsen system, or you may just have the flat piece that just goes all the way across, and it's got two bolts in it. I believe it's either a 7 or 8 millimeter bolt, but in this case, because it's got the speaker up here, if you just use a pry tool up under here, you can just pop it up, and it's just a cover with nothing on it. You can take that right off. For the centerpiece, you can come up here, pry this up, but you're going to run into an issue when it comes to getting the whole piece out. This is all one piece, and you've got either a 7 or an 8 millimeter bolt that needs to come off the speaker, and that's a, looks like a 7, yeah. So you got to take those two 7 millimeter bolts out and then disconnect the speaker, and then you can pull that centerpiece off of there. If you're wondering why all this stuff up here needs to come off, it's because everything is interlocked. So if you don't take this stuff off, you can't get other stuff off. So you gotta start up here. Try to start off by removing stuff on the bottom. You will definitely start breaking stuff off. There's the connector. Unplugged. Definitely want to put the speaker in a safe spot. Alright, so now that that is out, should be able to remove the rest of this, and the rest of these are just those little prongs like this one right here on the side. Oh wait, yep, there's more. Almost missed those. The two screws down in here are 7. And this would be a good time to have a magnet to retrieve the screws, because they are, got it. They are a little difficult to get out, but you can get them. Or a needle nose or a magnet would be perfect. Okay, almost there. One of them went back in over here. It's like they're taking turns going back in as I go around. Alright, there you go. That piece is out. You can see all the different connectors on the bottom. There's 10 of them just there, plus the 4 screws. As far as this piece goes, this piece is not difficult, not easy to get out, but if you just get behind it up here, and then you need to get down here. So you may have seen I pulled up here initially, and then you got to come down here. Don't over flex these pieces because they very easily could break. And then what you want to do, same thing over on the other side, you just want to go across little by little. These things can be somewhat a pain in the butt to get out. In fact, you can see where I broke one of the blue clips here and had to replace it. But do want to be careful if it's cold, especially freezing temperatures, because these plastic pieces will break a whole lot easier when it's cold outside. And that is how you get the infotainment piece of trim off. And you can see here and here where this piece that I just took off locks in. So that's why you gotta take that piece off above and then move to the next piece. I didn't get it on their original video, but this piece right here, you can start by pulling it out, but then you don't want to put too much torque on it because you may snap some of these little pieces that lock it in. In fact, when you get down to the bottom, if you have one of these curved trim tools, you want to put it in there. Find a good spot, because even with these plastic ones, they will mar up everything. Put it in there and then pop it straight out. Don't torque torque it forward or you're going to bust it. And you can see I had one that busted pretty quick. I think it might have already been slightly broke, but that's the only piece that's in there, so I don't know. But you can see right there, that little bluish baby blue piece is missing. Now the next thing is this long trim piece right here, and you can see why you can't just take pieces off, because this piece was locked in place by the piece that went here on both sides. Now it's just a matter of getting it popped out here and following along all the way over to the other side without breaking anything. Start over here where the start stop button is. Now I just need to follow this along, and definitely want to try to put it where those pins are so that you're not in a weak spot that might break. And that's what I'm doing right now. And you go to the other side. Oh. All right. On this end down here should be a long pin right here. See? There you go. All right, so that is off, and then just need to go over there and disconnect the start stop button and get the piece out of the way. As far as these trim pieces here on the side, you just need to pull out. Just come off very easily, and then once you get pulled out, then you just pull it straight out towards you. It's driver's side, and now the same thing for passenger side. You're just gonna pull out. Might be a little rough to get it started, but it will come off. There you go. And this piece is different than the other side. It's a lot bigger and fatter in this area here. Now those two trim pieces are out. So now we're going to move on to removing these screws that hold the air portion. You can use a drill to remove all the screws, but I don't recommend using a drill when you put it back on, unless you set the torque, because you could crack the plastic. So I've been removing these screws right here. I didn't realize the camera wasn't on it. There's another screw there and another screw here, but those are for the upper portion of the display screen. And once you get those screws out, then you should be able to just pop this out. There we go. Alright, you can see all the different connectors back there. As far as the knee panel, so you've got two separate pieces. This one locks in here. You can see the blue clip came off the opposite side. I'm not even sure where it went, but can come down. And then this one pops out as well. It's got 4 clips on each side. Pops down. It's kind of stiff, so it doesn't like come down very easily. And then I believe those are 7mm screws if you want to remove both the top and the bottom. So these 2 bolts under here are a 7mm. In order to get this piece off right here, you will have to open this up and then just reach under here, and you're just gonna pull it up and it will unlock. You got 3 pins on this side, 3 on the other side. It'll lift up, but be prepared that on that cup over there, there are some plugs that go to it because that's where you put your dead key fob if your fob is dead. So you will have to unplug those in order to get this out of the way. These are the two plugs right here that you need to remove from the bottom of the cup holder, which is this right here. So one there and one there. This dash side piece in. And the way that you want to do this is make sure you tuck it back behind as you put it in. Line up your pins. There you go. That is in. So there's the tether for this little trim piece, and that'll go on last. All right, now this, hook the speaker up. The big, most important thing of this is getting everything where it needs to go down in there, because there's two pins there, there's a single pin up here, and then you also need to make sure it goes behind the rubber door molding. And right up here at the very top is a guide pin too, so you'll know if you're off. Good idea to have a trim tool handy because it doesn't want to go right underneath it. Alright, there we go. That's all locked in where it needs to be. Now I'm going to put the two 10mm bolts on. You want to make sure that these two bolts are tight, since more than likely you're using the handle to get in and out of your truck. So you do want to make sure it's tight. There is a notch at the very bottom. Go ahead and put this tether back on here. All right.